Welcome to Relaxing Sleepy Stories and Music, the place where stories soothe your soul and the healing music calms your mind. If you find solace in our stories, please consider subscribing and liking our channel to stay updated with new relaxing tales and relaxing music designed just for your bedtime routine. Now, let's begin our story and allow the soothing power of narrative to carry us into dreams. Before we embark on tonight's journey with Raina and Whiskers into a hidden garden and moonlit lavender fields, let's take a moment to unwind and prepare for sleep with a simple breathing exercise. Find a comfortable position, lying down in your bed or resting back in a cozy chair. Close your eyes and let your hands rest gently by your side. Take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your chest and belly rise as you fill your lungs with air. Hold that breath for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And now exhale slowly through your mouth, letting all the tension melt away. Let's do this 2 more times. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Each breath takes you deeper into relaxation. Now, as your breathing returns to its natural rhythm, imagine the gentle, soothing scent of lavender surrounding you, its calming essence escorting you into a deeper state of peace. Tonight's story is a serene exploration, rich in detail and imbued with the tranquility of nature. Join Raina and her faithful companion, Whiskers, as they discover a magical garden in the heart of a valley. As they care for its enchanting plants and meet mystical creatures, each element of the garden offers unique comfort, leading Raina to profound peace under the stars among the lavender fields. The tale will not only help you relax, but also guide you gently toward a restful sleep. Once upon a time, in a quiet valley embraced by the gentle rise and fall of green hills, there was a small, aged cottage with walls washed in a pale hue of yellow, so faint it seemed like a distant memory of sunshine. This quaint home, bordered by the silver-green whispers of willow trees, was where Raina lived. A landscape gardener by trade and a dreamer at heart, she found solace in the rhythms of nature. One mild spring morning, when the sky was a soft sheet of blue, barely brushed with wisps of white clouds, Raina decided to explore a part of her vast backyard she seldom visited. The air was cool, with a crispness that hinted at the last departing chills of winter. As she walked, Her steps were cushioned by the thick, lush grass, wet with the morning dew, each blade glistening like a tiny strand of emerald. Accompanying Raina was Whiskers, her faithful old cat, whose patchwork fur of greys and whites had known many seasons. Whiskers padded silently beside her, his movements graceful and measured, his green eyes scanning the underbrush with feline curiosity. As they ventured deeper into the valley, Raina noticed a narrow, barely visible path veiled by overhanging branches and tangled ivy. Intrigued, she pushed aside the green curtain, feeling the rough texture of the bark against her palms. The path led to an archway formed by two old oak trees, their branches interlacing overhead like the fingers of two hands clasped in prayer. Stepping through this natural gateway, Raina entered what appeared to be a hidden garden. It was a circular space, enclosed by towering ferns and ancient trees, their trunks covered with moss so thick it looked like velvet. The air here was heavy with the scent of wild jasmine and honeysuckle, their sweet fragrances mingling into a heady perfume that seemed to slow time itself. In the center of the garden, there was a small pond, its surface perfectly still, mirroring the cerulean sky and the fluffy clouds above. Around the pond, the earth was carpeted with tiny blue and violet flowers, which swayed gently at the softest touch of the wind. Raina knelt down by the pond, her fingers tracing the cool, moist earth. Each plant, each stone around the water was placed as if by design, creating an intricate mosaic of colors and textures. As Raina explored the garden, she discovered that it was not merely the beauty of the place that soothed her, but also its inhabitants. Tiny, luminescent insects danced in the air, their bodies casting glimmers of light like tiny stars lost in the day. A small hedgehog ambled through the undergrowth, its spines brushing against fallen leaves, creating a soft, rustling melody. Near the pond, a willow tree stood guard, its branches drooping gracefully towards the water. Beneath this gentle giant, Raina and Whiskers laid a blanket, deciding to spend the night under the stars. As dusk fell, the garden transformed. The pond reflected the twinkling stars above, and the air filled with the nocturnal symphony of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. Raina lay back on the blanket, Whiskers curling up beside her, his purrs a soft vibration against her side. The scent of lavender from nearby fields wafted over them, each breath a wave of relaxation. As the moon rose, high and luminous, casting silvery light over the flowers, Raina felt herself drifting into sleep. In her dreams, she walked again through the moonlit lavender fields. The flowers glowed under the celestial light, each one seeming to beat with a heart of its own. Celestial beings, ethereal and glowing, floated around her, their faces peaceful, their voices a whispering chorus that spoke of the deep, enduring peace of nature. These beings taught Raina the secrets of the lavender, how each bloom carried the essence of tranquility, and how the garden was a sanctuary not just for her, but for all who sought respite from the world. They showed her how to listen to the whisper of the trees and the murmur of the earth, each sound a note in the symphony of the natural world. When Raina awoke, it was to the gentle kiss of the dawn. The sky was painted in strokes of pink and orange, the colors vibrant against the fading stars. Beside her, Whiskers stretched, his movements slow and content. Feeling refreshed and imbued with a newfound understanding, Raina walked back to her cottage. The path seemed different now, every leaf and every stone familiar and welcoming. As she reached her home, the first rays of sun warmed the cool earth, casting long golden shadows across her garden. Raina made herself a cup of tea, the steam rising in the quiet of her kitchen. She sat by the window, looking out at the world, feeling a deep, abiding peace. With a sigh of contentment, she leaned back, her eyes closing just for a moment, and drifted into a deep, restorative sleep, her dreams a tapestry woven from the magic of her hidden garden. Raina had wandered deep into the heart of the hidden garden, her hands occasionally brushing against the dew-kissed petals and leaves that shimmered under the moonlight. Each plant seemed to possess its own heartbeat, its own soul. The garden was alive, whispering secrets of old, secrets that only the night knew. The air was perfumed with a myriad of scents, jasmine that sweetened the night air, rosemary that added a sharp, earthy tang, and a faint, ever-present undertone of the mystical moonflowers that only bloomed under the silver light of a full moon. The night was still, the only sound being the distant hoot of an owl and the gentle rustle of leaves, stirred by the soft breath of the valley wind. Whiskers, ever the curious companion, trotted alongside her, his ears perked up at every little sound, his eyes wide and reflective of the moonlight. Occasionally, he would pause, sniffing the air, or chasing off to the shadows cast by flying insects that dared to interrupt the sanctity of their moonlit exploration. As they moved deeper into the garden, Raina came upon a small, clear pond, its surface glassy and undisturbed. Surrounding it were clusters of chamomile and lavender, their mingled scents sedative and soothing. She knelt by the pond, dipping her fingers into the cool water, feeling the gentle caress of the water's surface against her skin. The pond, she noticed, was home to a small school of fish, their scales glinting like tiny stars against the dark, pebbly bottom. The magic of the garden was not just in its beauty and serenity, but in its ability to transcend ordinary life, to connect her to the rhythms of nature. Raina felt a deep, abiding peace settle over her as she sat by the pond, Whiskers curling up by her side, his body warm against the chill of the night air. As the hours passed, they ventured further, drawn by the enchanting allure of the moonlit lavender fields that bordered the garden. The lavender was in full bloom, waves of purple that seemed to stretch into infinity under the stolid sky. Raina laid out a blanket at the edge of the fields, and together with Whiskers, she lay down, her eyes fixed on the vast, unending expanse above her. The stars were particularly bright tonight, pinpricks of light perforating the velvety darkness, each one a silent guardian watching over the world. The scent of lavender was overwhelmingly calming, each breath in sync with the rhythm of the universe, each exhale a release of the day's burdens. The breeze was gentle but cool, the kind that whispered of changing seasons and the passage of time. In this vast, open space, Raina's thoughts began to drift, lighter than air. She imagined herself rising, her body weightless, carried by the breeze, traveling over the fields bathed in moonlight. In her mind's eye, she wandered through celestial gardens, each plant glowing with an ethereal light, each petal and leaf crafted from the fabric of the night sky. Her dreamlike journey took her beyond the fields to a forest of silver birches, their bark shimmering like the surface of the moon. Celestial beings, creatures of pure light and energy, greeted her as she moved among them. They spoke in tones that were felt rather than heard, vibrations that resonated with the core of her being, teaching her the sacredness of rest, the purity of relaxation, and the profound peace of being one with the universe. Each encounter imbued her with a deeper sense of calm, her heart beating in perfect harmony with the natural world around her. The celestial beings bestowed upon her gifts of insight, understanding the healing properties of plants, the restorative power of the night, and the rejuvenating power of deep, undisturbed sleep. As dawn approached, her dream journey gently guided her back to her blanket in the lavender fields. The first light of morning tinged the horizon with hues of pink and gold, the night receding like a tide, pulling back into the shadows to rest until it was time to rise again. Raina stirred, her body feeling refreshed and her mind clear, as if the veils of fatigue had been lifted. washed away by her nocturnal adventures. She sat up, stretching languidly, her movements slow and deliberate. Beside her, Whiskers yawned, his eyes blinking open, adjusting to the soft light of dawn. Together, they walked back to the cottage, the valley slowly waking around them, the air filled with the sounds of morning, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the distant roar of the brook, ever present. Raina felt a profound gratitude for the night's journey, for the magic of the hidden garden, and the celestial wisdom of the lavender fields. Upon returning to her cottage, Raina prepared for sleep, her body eager for rest, her mind filled with the peaceful images of her dream. She drew the curtains, the room bathed in the soft, ambient light of dawn. Lying down in her bed, the linen cool and inviting against her skin, Raina let herself drift off into a deep, restful sleep, the kind that heals and restores, surrounded by the gentle, embracing quiet of her home. The world outside continued its rhythm, the valley a cradle of life and peace, but inside the cottage, all was still, save for the steady, comforting sound of Raina's deep breathing and the soft, rhythmic purring of Whiskers, asleep at the foot of her bed. As she slipped deeper into sleep, her dreams were a continuation of her night's adventures, a seamless blend of reality and fantasy, each moment a brushstroke in the beautiful, intricate painting of her life in the tranquil valley. The soft light of dawn filtered through the curtains of Raina's cottage, casting a warm glow upon her sleeping form. With a contented sigh, she stirred from her slumber, feeling the lingering traces of dreams fade away as she greeted the new day. Stretching languidly, Raina welcomed the morning with open arms, eager to embark on another adventure in the tranquil embrace of the valley. As she rose from her bed, Raina went through her daily morning rituals with a sense of quiet reverence. She washed her face with water from the ceramic basin, feeling the cool liquid cleanse away the remnants of sleep. With gentle strokes, she brushed her long tresses, the rhythmic motion soothing her mind and spirit. After dressing in comfortable attire suited for exploration, Raina made her way to the kitchen, where she prepared a simple breakfast of freshly baked bread and herbal tea. The aroma of warm dough filled the air, mingling with the fragrant steam rising from her cup. With each sip of tea and bite of bread, Raina felt a sense of nourishment that went beyond the physical, a soul-deep nourishment that fed her spirit and invigorated her for the day ahead. As she savored her breakfast, Raina gazed out the window at the verdant landscape stretching before her. The valley beckoned with promises of hidden wonders and untold adventures, stirring a sense of curiosity within her heart. Today, she decided, would be a day of exploration, a day to follow the whispers of the wind and the murmurs of the brook that flowed through the heart of the valley. With a sense of purpose, Raina finished her meal and gathered her belongings, a woven basket filled with provisions, a blanket for resting, and a sketchbook to capture the beauty of the valley's secrets. Beside her, Whiskers watched with keen interest, as emerald eyes reflecting the anticipation that sparkled in her own. Together, they set out towards the brook, their steps light and purposeful as they followed the winding path that led deeper into the valley. The air was alive with the symphony of nature, the chirping of birds, the rustle of leaves, and the gentle rustle of the brook as it flowed over smooth stones and moss-covered banks. As they walked, Raina felt a sense of connection with the world around her, a deep knowing that she was a part of something greater than herself. With each breath, she drank in the scent of wildflowers and earth, feeling the energy of the valley pulse beneath her feet. Beside her, Whiskers padded silently, his senses attuned to the rhythms of the natural world, his tail twitching with excitement. At last, they reached the banks of the brook, a crystal clear ribbon of water that wound its way through the heart of the valley. Its gentle murmurs beckoned to Raina, inviting her to explore its secrets and uncover the hidden treasures that lay beyond. With a smile, she knelt beside the water, dipping her fingers into its cool embrace and feeling the gentle caress of its currents. Inspired by the brook's song, Raina and Whiskers followed its meandering course deeper into the valley, their senses alive with the promise of discovery. The path was lined with towering trees and lush vegetation, their branches forming a canopy overhead that dappled the sunlight that filtered through. As they walked, Raina felt a sense of wonder wash over her, a feeling of being in tune with the rhythm of the earth and the cycles of nature. Each step brought her closer to the heart of the valley, where she knew that hidden wonders awaited her, wonders that would fill her soul with joy and her heart with peace. At last, they came upon a secluded glade, a tranquil oasis nestled within the embrace of the valley. Here, the brook widened into a serene lagoon, its waters shimmering with an otherworldly light that danced upon its surface. Raina felt a sense of awe wash over her as she beheld the hidden gem before her, a sanctuary untouched by the hands of time. Without hesitation, Raina and Whiskers waded into the cool embrace of the lagoon, the water enveloping them like a lover's embrace. With each step, they felt the cares of the world slip away, replaced by a sense of tranquility that filled their beings to the brim. As they immersed themselves in the enchanted waters of the lagoon, Raina felt a profound sense of connection with the world around her. It was as if the very essence of the water infused her being, washing away the worries and stresses of everyday life and leaving her feeling weightless and free. Beside her, Whiskers frolicked in the shallows, his movements graceful and fluid as he danced amidst the ripples of light that played upon the water's surface. Together, they reveled in the magic of the lagoon, allowing its soothing waters to carry them away on a journey of discovery and wonder. As they swam amidst the tranquil depths of the lagoon, Raina and Whiskers felt themselves drawn into a state of profound relaxation. It was as if the very essence of the water held within its depths the secrets of the universe, secrets whispered by the gentle currents that cradled them in their embrace. In the depths below, they encountered a vibrant tapestry of marine life, serene sea creatures that glided through the water with effortless grace. Rainbow-colored fish darted between swaying coral reefs, their scales shimmering in the dappled light. Raina and Whiskers swam amongst the denizens of the deep, their hearts filled with wonder at the beauty that surrounded them. They danced with playful dolphins, their laughter echoing through the underwater realm, and marveled at the wisdom of ancient sea turtles, whose ancient eyes held the secrets of the ages. As they explored the hidden wonders of the lagoon, Raina and Whiskers felt themselves enveloped in a sense of peace and serenity that transcended time and space. It was as if the very essence of the water held within its depths the secrets of the universe, secrets whispered by the gentle currents that cradled them in their embrace. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden light across the lagoon, Raina and Whiskers emerged from the water, their spirits renewed and rejuvenated. With hearts full of gratitude for the wonders they had experienced, they made their way back to the cottage, the echoes of the lagoon's enchanting melody lingering in their minds. Back in the sanctuary of their home, Raina prepared for another night of restful slumber, her mind filled with the memories of the day's adventures. As she drifted off to sleep, she felt the gentle embrace of the valley's magic, wrapping her in its comforting embrace. In the heart of the valley, amidst whispers of the wind and the gentle murmur of the brook, Raina and Whiskers discovered the true essence of relaxation, a gift bestowed upon them by the hidden wonders of the lagoon. And as they surrendered to the gentle rhythm of the night, they knew that their journey into the enchanted realm of the valley was far from over. As our journey through the enchanted garden and moonlit lavender fields comes to a close, I bid you good night and sweet dreams until next time. May the tranquility of our stories stay with you as you drift off into the realm of dreams, and may you awaken refreshed and renewed. Thank you for joining us on this peaceful journey, and we look forward to welcoming you back soon. Until then, sleep well, dear listeners, and may your nights be filled with serenity and joy.